Welcome to the Old Time Radio Westerns. I'm your host, Andrew Rhynes, and I'm excited to bring you another episode absolutely free. This episode is one of many released every month, totaling over 80 episodes so far. Each one is meticulously digitally restored and stored in the cloud for your convenience, a process that incurs costs. To help cover these expenses, you might hear some advertisements throughout the episode. While we do retain the original commercials for historical authenticity, you may also encounter modern ads, which help keep the lights on. If you prefer an ad-free experience, we offer a couple options. You can listen to the episodes on YouTube, where they don't include the audio ads, although YouTube may provide their own ads on their platform. Alternatively, you can also support us by becoming a patron on our Patreon page. For more information, go to otrwesterns.com/donate. Again, otrwesterns.com/donate. I do want to emphasize that we are committed to providing this content to you for free, but also we have to be transparent about the financial realities to bringing this to you. To those of you who are already supporting us, we extend our heartfelt thanks. Your contributions make it possible for us to continue doing what we love. And as a final note, I did want to mention one last thing. If you are paying for a service, let's say like Audible, and you're listening to this show on that site, they do not provide any financial or monetary means to this podcast. We provide it to them as a way for you to be able to listen, but they don't help us in any way. So again, thank you to everybody who's already supporting, and those of you who want to support us in the future, I deeply appreciate it. Now, let's get into this episode. This episode is going to be The Lone Ranger. Original air date is February 6th, 1939, and the title is Johnny's Gold Mine. Let's get into it, and I hope you enjoy.
Fiery horse with the speed of light, a cloud of dust, and a hearty Hi-Yo Silver, the Lone Ranger. The discovery of gold in the western United States attracted many criminals from the East. With no adequate law-enforcing agency on the frontier, they found it easy to jump claims and to rob the honest miners and prospectors. It was then that the masked rider of the plains started his great fight for justice. It was he who brought peace and security to the new territory, and without him, the winning of the West would never have been possible. Return with us now to those thrilling days of yesteryear. From out of the past come the thundering hoofbeats of the great horse Silver. The Lone Ranger rides again.
Come on, Silver! There's adventure on the trail ahead! Hi-yo, Silver! Away!
Our story begins thousands of miles away from the western range country. A tall, three-masted schooner is beating her way around the Horn, San Francisco bound. Spray lashes her decks, wind whistles through the rigging. 2 men have been washed overboard, lost forever. A third, Luke Ross, has been dashed from a cross-stay, lifted from the deck by young Johnny Thompson, and carried to his bunk in the forecastle.
Thank you, Johnny. But I'm done for. Fair done for.
Don't say that, Luke.
Oh, it ain't no use. I can feel it coming on. I had a feeling all the time I'd never lived to see Frisco.
Oh, now you will.
Wait,
Luke.
Johnny. There's something.
Yes?
You've been a friend to me. About the only one aboard ship.
I've only give you a hand now and then when you've needed it.
When all the rest of them, they laughed at me for a landlubber. Oh, listen, Johnny. There's something I've got to tell you before I'm through.
A message to your folks?
No, I'll tell you that. My folks are all gone. Johnny, it's a mine. A mine my brother Jake located the time he went west.
Yes?
That's why I signed up for the voyage, Johnny. To jump ship at Frisco and get to the other side of the mountains and work that mine myself.
Gold?
So much gold there ain't no saying.
Golly.
Oh, Johnny, under my blankets, there at the foot of my bunk. Lift them up and look under them.
Sure. This what you meant, Luke?
Yeah, it's a map. It tells just how to reach that place. It's way up in the hills. Jake said you'd never find it without you had the map to show you the way.
I'd never find it?
The map is yours, Johnny. For all you've done for me.
No, you don't have to do this, Luke.
Johnny, don't argue. That paper, it'll tell you what... I can't. Where to go and all. There's a town. Just a small place. Jake said a friend of his lived there.
A friend?
A prospector. Silas Hansen's the name. He'll guide you if you find him. Jake always wanted Si to have a share of the mine. You remember, won't you?
You've got my word.
The name of the town is Osage.
Osage. Silas Hansen. Yes, I've got it.
It's good to know you're going to get what I can't. Look out.
What?
Behind.
Blimey.
I'll fix you.
Knife,
you. Oh, me arm. You wouldn't break a coat's arm, would you? Oh,
Drop that knife.
Sure, Governor. I never meant no harm. Quicky, I didn't.
Get out.
Sure, Governor. Sure. I never meant no harm.
Luke. Luke, can't you hear me? Luke. Dead.
Far from San Francisco, many months later, a riderless horse brought the Lone Ranger into the chain of events which had started at sea. The place was a small, well-hidden camp many miles from the nearest town. The time was late afternoon.
Scout! Scout, old fellow. Where's Tonto? What's happened to your master? Hey, Silver. Silver, old boy, something's happened to Tonto. We've got to find him. Steady, boy. Lead the way, Scout. We'll follow. Come on, Silver.
The afternoon faded into night. In another camp many miles away, an Indian was bound securely to a tree, and a burly outlaw, gun in hand, glared at him. The two figures were lighted by the dancing flames of a small campfire.
All right, Injun, talk. What was you doing sneaking around my camp?
Until not talk.
I've seen you before someplace.
Maybe.
Someplace, yeah. I got it. I seen you riding across country with a masked fella. Sure, that's it. Now then, Injun, who was that masked hombre?
Until not talk.
No? Well, you will before I'm through with you. You wasn't spying on me for nothing. You and your masked partner up to some game.
You not find out.
There. The next will come closer. How's for talking now? Still stubborn, eh? Boy, blast your red skin out. Huh? Oh, it's you, Ike. Hey, who's this hombre?
He's the fellow I was telling you about, Baldy. The
The one that was asking questions about you at the cafe.
Yeah? Get down from that horse.
Bloomin' saddle.
Ain't used to riding horseback, eh?
Horses and saddles ain't for such as me, Governor. Blimey, they ain't.
Forget it. You ain't crippled. Now, what's your business? What was you so blamed anxious to find out about me for?
Why, it's like this, Governor. Who's the ruddy savage?
Never mind him. Right now, I'm a sight more interested in who you are.
Me? Limey's what they call me, Governor. Al Smithers is the name the old laddie gave me. But I'll answer to Limey. Late to the Betsy Ann out of Liverpool, British Register.
Doggone, Baldy. You ever hear a fella talk like him before?
What's wrong with the way
You
I
ain't told
talk?
me yet what you was asking questions for.
Governor, how'd you like to make yourself a piece of change?
Go on.
I ain't no bloomin' mountain climber, see? So what I needs is a couple of coals like you to sort of show me the ropes. And, Governor, you can take the word of Al Smithers, it'll be worthwhile.
What's the proposition?
Well, I'll tell you, matey. Seems as if a fella named Jake Ross found a gold mine.
Jake Ross? Baldy, you heard about him. Recollect? He was a fella kept bringing all that gold into town from somewhere in the hills. And nobody could ever find out where it come from.
Yeah.
Heard of him, eh? Then maybe he'll join up with me, eh? Just say the word. Say he'll go half and half, and I'll tell you what I knows.
You savvy where that mine's at?
I don't, Governor, but I can show you the bucko as does. Well, is it a go? You're signing on?
Limey, if you can fix it for us to find where Jake Ross was getting his dust from, you just bet we'll go 50-50.
Shake, matey.
Sure. Now, who's this fella knows about the mine and where's he at?
His name's Johnny Thompson. He was on the Betty Ann along with me. A bloomin' yank to meet Shanghai will be put in at Baltimore. And right now, Governor, he's lying a course for the place is called Osage.
How would he know anything about a Jake's mine?
He knows, don't you fear. He knows 'cause he's got a map to the place. And, matey, that map was given by a cove named Luke Ross, Jake's brother as ever was.
Well,
You
I'll
hear
be...
that, Baldy? A map brought up by Jake himself, I'll bet you. That means the gold's as good as ours.
Where's this fella at now? This Thompson hombre.
Told you he was heading for Osage, didn't I?
How far out?
The way he was sailing, Governor, he ought to be making a landfall before tomorrow night.
What's he going to Osage for?
Why, to look for... Oh, blimey.
Hey, what
A
the...
masked feller.
Don't flap, leather.
What the...
I've heard some interesting things, Baldy.
How'd you know my name?
Tonto and I have been trailing you for quite a while.
Are you-
Reach for those guns, Ike, and I'll outdraw you.
Yeah, well, I'll show
Now
you
then.
then.
Lord, lummy.
Now drop those guns back in their holsters. You'll never complete that draw.
Sure, stranger, sure. Just don't shoot.
Hold still, Tonto. I'll cut these ropes. There. Can you make it?
Me get loose now. Look here, stranger. The engine came sneaking around here and I...
Quiet.
Well, I tell
I want to
you...
give you a warning. Tonto, bring up the horses. I left them in that grove back there.
Tonto, get them.
Baldy, I haven't been able to get anything on you yet. I heard your talk just now, but I can't turn you over to the law for something you haven't done yet.
Blast it, what have you got against me? You're a crook same as me, or you wouldn't be wearing that mask. There ain't no reason for us to have trouble. Fact is, if you'd like to throw in with me and Ike and Limey here, why...
I'm not throwing in with you, and I'm warning you not to go through with your plans. Don't try to get that mine.
Yeah, now, ain't you going it a bit high and mighty? You ain't no bloomin' toff.
I've said enough. You understand me.
Here, horse.
Good. Baldy,
Well,
go in to find Thompson and let him know you're on his trail.
you're so doggone anxious to get something on me. Why you giving me this warning?
Because I know your kind.
Huh?
You'll risk anything for gold, especially if you can get it dishonestly. Well, you've had your warning, and I don't expect you to heed it. I'll tell you this, however. When you make a slip, Tonto and I'll be there.
You...
Ready, Tonto? Be ready. Come on, get it over.
The meddling skunks.
Now, who asked him to come butting in?
Baldy, what are we going to do?
Do? Well, one thing we ain't gonna do is let that hombre scare us out of a fortune.
But with him hearing what we said...
We'll find some way to take care of that. Limey, I don't reckon you will like it, but you're gonna have to do some more riding. We're breaking camp, clearing out and covering our trail.
The Lone Ranger and Tonto returned to their camp and in the morning set out on the trail to Osage. It was not difficult to recognize Johnny Thompson when they overtook him. He was still wearing the ill-fitting shore clothes he had bought in San Francisco, and he was obviously unaccustomed to the saddle.
That must be him, Tonto. We'll soon find out, at least. Come on, get him up, look out. Hello there. Him hear you, but he's not stopping. Rein up, your horse.
Get up,
I'll stop him, Tonto. Come on, old fellow. Come on. Stay back. This isn't a hold-up. Now then. Oh, Silver. Pull back. Oh.
I've got no money.
And I just told you this isn't a hold-up.
Then what are you stopping
You
me?
know a man called Limey?
What? Where'd you find out about him? Where is he? How'd you come to know him?
He's somewhere behind you on the trail. And I happen to know he's following you for a map you have in your possession.
I knew it. I knew he'd follow.
You've got more than him to fear. Limey alone wouldn't last long in this country. But he's joined up with two crooks.
He's told him about the map?
He has.
But what's this to you?
The two men with him are Baldy Baker and a fellow called Ike. No one's ever heard his last name. I've suspected them to be outlaws for a long time. Now I'm sure of it. I warned you so you wouldn't be their next victim.
That mask you're wearing.
Doesn't prove I'm an outlaw. I have my own reason for wearing it.
I'll just bet you have.
You have that map with you?
Where it is and what I've done with it is none of your business.
Thompson, I'm trying to help you, or I wouldn't have given you this information.
You're an outlaw. You wouldn't be wearing that mask.
You won't be convinced. Very well. Just how do you expect to get there? You're going to attempt the trail alone?
I'll tell you how I'm going. Silas Hanson is taking me if I can find him.
Silas Hanson's an honest man.
Which is more than I can say for some others.
Let him take you there, but don't trust anyone else.
Never fear.
Osage is still quite a few miles ahead. Get going.
You aren't even going to search me?
I said get going.
Well, I'll be switched. You are a funny pair of crooks. Get up. Get up there.
Now what we do? Find outlaw?
They probably covered the tracks pretty well after the warning I gave them. That doesn't matter, however. If it had, I would have said nothing.
You got plans?
There's one thing certain. If Baldy and Ike and Limey do try anything, they'll have to show themselves to Johnny and Silas Hanson.
That right.
And if we follow Johnny when he leaves Osage, we'll be on hand whenever those crooks act. Whether Johnny believes us outlaws or not, Tonto, he's going to be protected.
Isn't that good?
And we're going to give him that protection. Come on, Tonto.
Get him up.
Ho, Silver! Away!
The curtain falls on the first act of our Lone Ranger drama. Before the next exciting scenes, please permit us to pause for just a few moments. Now to continue our story. Johnny Thompson rode on to Osage, made inquiries in town, and learned that old Silas Hanson still lived there. He lost no time introducing himself and telling the purpose of his visit. Silas and his daughter Linda made the young man welcome, and when Johnny had finished his story, Silas said,
Now, this here masked fellow you met up with, just what did he look like? You recollect?
Oh, he was tall. Taller than me, even. Broad-shouldered. Held himself right straight in the saddle.
What kind of a horse was he riding?
Gosh, Mr. Hanson, I'd never forget that horse if I lived to be 100.
A white horse?
White? Say, how'd you guess it? Is that masked man a well-known outlaw around here?
Oh, that must be...
Hold on, honey. Wait till we make sure. You said there was a redskin with him? Did you hear the redskin's name by any chance?
No, can't say as I did. Oh, wait. I did hear the masked man call out something or other just before he grabbed my reins.
Yeah?
It was Pronto or Monto or something like that. I just don't...
Tonto?
Sure, Tonto, that's it.
Oh, Pa, it was.
And, Johnny, you went and mistook that fella for an outlaw. Golly, that's the best yet.
Huh? I did something wrong?
Pa, you mustn't make fun of him. He's a stranger in the West. He couldn't have heard of the Lone Ranger before.
Lone Ranger?
Shucks, son, that feller ain't not only not a crook, but he's the one hombre in these parts that crooks steer clear of. If they got any notion who he is.
I'm afraid I don't understand.
Well, you see, Johnny.
Oh, here now, honey. You can't be calling this young fella by his first name already. He most likely won't care for it.
Oh, but... Well, I don't mind.
You see, nobody knows who the Lone Ranger is, where he came from, his name, nothing. But he's done more to build up the West than any other man alive.
He's quite a feller, all right. But ain't you taking in a whole heap of territory, honey?
Well, he has, Paul. You know he has. I think he's wonderful.
I'll bet he'd be mighty proud to hear you say that, Miss Linda.
Oh, he wouldn't even know I was alive.
Doggone, how many men do you want on your string, anyhow? First you're making eyes at Johnny here. Then you go to talking about the masked fella like a lovesick girl.
I wasn't either making eyes at Johnny.
You'll go with me into the mountains then, Mr. Hanson?
Sure will. We leave first thing in the morning. Get up before dawn, reach the hills before night comes.
That's great.
You seem mighty anxious to get away.
But don't you see, Linda? Miss Linda, if we find that gold, then I can get back real quick and...
And?
Oh, nothing.
You young folks got me beat.
Silas and Johnny left several hours before dawn the following day. It was 2 hours later when three shadowy figures approached the Hanson place. Linda, having seen her father and Johnny off, had remained up and was busy in her kitchen.
In this valley, they tell me you're living. Such a miss your bright eyes and sweet smile. For they tell... Yes?
I've got a message for you, miss.
One moment. You have a message?
Yeah, we come...
Blimey. Ain't she a looker, though?
Oh.
Now, what's wrong, miss? Give you a fright, did I?
You're the man, Limey.
Heard to me, eh, Duchess? Cricky, if I ain't a man for the ladies to hear about.
Remember that? You'll be late in half an hour.
Get out of here. Get out.
Miss, that's just what we aim to do. But you can get into your riding clothes first, because you're going with it.
Unaware that Limey and his newfound friends had seized Linda, Silas and Johnny continued their journey. The mountain air was keen, the sun warm, their horses fresh and willing. Johnny, to whom the West was a new experience, was enthusiastic, and Silas laughed at the young man's high spirits.
Well, Johnny, kind of cotton to this here country, don't you?
Mr. Hanson.
Silas to you, Johnny.
I keep forgetting. Silas, this country is grand.
Uh-huh. Sort of think so myself.
Golly, I wouldn't want to go back east again, even if I hadn't met...
Huh? Met who?
No one, Silas.
Oh.
It's like I said, I keep forgetting.
Their way led into more rugged country. They reached timberline and continued beyond, where even the sure-footed pack horses found the trail difficult. Silas and Johnny were not the first to climb the mountain that morning, however. High above them rode a masked man and an Indian.
Come on, Silver. They must be making for that pass up ahead, Tonto. That only way. Trail, go. We'll go through it first. Wait until we're sure they're coming, then ride on again. Come on, old fellow. Come on, Silver.
3 men and a girl followed Silas at a safe distance. The girl's face was worn and anxious. Of the men, one was heavy-set with a head that shone bald when he removed his Stetson. One, keeping to the saddle with obvious difficulty, was thin, furtive, and wizened. The third was somber, hawk-faced, sullen. He raised his hand and pointed to the trail before them with...
This is just about where Jake Ross used to lose running fellas that followed him, Baldy. How do you know them fellas in front of us ain't going to do the same?
Jake weren't the same proposition as these fellas. He couldn't be followed because he was the best fella on the trail in these parts. Silas ain't so bad, but he's getting old. The other fella's just a tenderfoot.
I hope they lose you. I hope with all my heart they do.
Dodgers, you're a game sport. Blimey if you ain't. But your friend's playing a losing game. Oh, blasted horse. The bloomin' Hannibal likes to make me ache. Yes, he does. Blimey if he don't.
Still deeper into the mountains rode Silas and Johnny, following the clear markings of the map. At first, they were constantly on the watch for Baldy and Ike, but as they approached their destination, they forgot everything but the gold mine. One day, shortly before noon, Johnny shouted,
Silas, there it is. Just like the map said, see? A big rock carved out to look like a pillar. That spring trickling out from the top. The cave just beyond. Come on, Silas, hurry. Get up, get up.
Tired as they were, the two men were far too eager to explore their find to take the time to rest. All that day, their picks dug at the gleaming sides of the cave. That night they slept, but at dawn they returned to their task. Hour after hour, they swung their picks until finally Silas called a halt.
That's enough for now. Johnny, drop that pick of yours before you wear yourself out. The gold will keep.
Silas, ain't it wonderful? Gold. Did you ever see anything like it? Golly, I never had a thrill like this in my whole life.
I'll bet you never. But it's a fact, it's the richest claim I ever seen. No wonder Jake kept it secret. This is the kind of a claim that men will murder for.
You're right, Silas.
What? Limey?
Certainly seems good to see an old shipmate. Hey, ain't you glad to see me, matey?
You followed us.
What'd you expect? We ain't got nothing again owning a gold mine ourselves, have we, Limey?
Cricky, we ain't.
Up with your hands.
I reckon.
You're covered.
And if you shoots us, Governor, what'll be happening to the Duchess?
What's that?
What Limey's trying to say is maybe if you shot us, it wouldn't go so good for your girl, Linda.
Linda?
Thought that would fit you. Sure, we followed you. We brought Linda along. Right now, she's hidden a place you won't ever find, with Ike to guard her.
You skunk. I'd like to...
Easy now. Silas, I reckon we hold the whip hand. Always supposing you'd like to see your girl again. Now, how's it for a trade?
A trade?
Sure. The mine or the girl.
Do it, Silas. Go on, do it. We can't let nothing happen to Linda. I don't give a hoot for my share of the gold alongside her.
Not so fast.
Huh?
This mine ain't never been claimed. We let you go and you'll break your necks getting the town to file on it. No, sirree. You ain't getting away with nothing like that.
But we're not going to...
No. What you're going to do before we give you back the girl or let her go, sign the paper. And when you got here, you found we'd stake the claim ahead of you. That way, if you try any funny business, we'll have the evidence to show you're just claim jumpers.
Slick, ain't you?
I know my way around.
We've got to do it, Silas. We've got no choice.
Yeah.
Sign nothing.
Hey, that's the masked man.
Silas, your daughter's free. We trailed these crooks and took her away from Mike. You don't have to sign anything. Come on, Silver.
Masked fella, he got the girl.
I'd like to cut his blasted throat. Yes, I would.
Come on, we're going to find out what happened to Ike. How they got the girl loose. Hurry up, Limey, hurry up.
That must have been the Lone Ranger.
But where'd he go? What did he do with Linda? Why did he bring her here?
You come with Tonto.
The Redskin.
You come.
Baldy and his companion raced to the spot where they had left Ike and Linda. When they arrived, they could scarcely believe their eyes.
Hold She's still here.
What's the matter, Baldy?
Have you seen a masked color around this camp at any time?
Gosh, no.
Have you?
I've seen no one.
And what in blazes was he up to?
He's got me beat for fair, matey.
What's this all about?
Why, we had old Silas and the young fellow just where we wanted them. All ready to sign the paper and glad of the chance. When that masked fella showed up and yelled that he'd found the girl and got her loose.
The fella's loco.
But what's his game, eh? What's the blighter up to?
This should show you.
Come
on, Silver. Up with your hands, all of you.
You won't get away with
Don't
this.
make a mistake, Baldy. Reach.
What in blazes?
You wanted to know why I said Linda wasn't your prisoner. It was to make you lead me here, and you did.
Let's rush him, Baldy. We're 3 to his 1.
You're not 3 to my 1 now.
Blasted ruddy savage is coming.
Oh, Paul.
Oh, there.
Linda, you're all right, honey. They haven't harmed you?
I'm so glad you came, Johnny.
Doggone, Johnny. Just quit looking at her and untie them ropes.
We'll clear out. Just let us go and we won't bother you no more.
Word of honor, Governor. Cross me bloomin' out and hope you die. I ain't the chap as'll bother you no more.
That's quite true. You won't.
Wait, listen. Can't we make a deal? Stranger, can we?
You remember what I told you the first time we met?
I guess.
I said I knew you'd try for the gold in spite of my warning. And I said that when you did, when you made a slip, Tonto and I would act.
Please.
That's enough. Silas.
Yeah?
Tonto will stay with you and Johnny to guard these men. The 3 of you should have no trouble.
Shucks, not now that you've given us the upper hand on them.
And I'll head for town and bring the law.
But here, you don't have to trouble yourself no more for us. You just...
Hi-yo, Silver!
Wait!
Away!
Hey, look at him go, will you? Talks like a bloomin' toff and rides like his ruddy majesty dragoons. Now, why didn't you cows tell me the blighter wasn't human? Blimey, mates, he ain't.
story you have just heard is a copyrighted feature of the Lone Ranger Incorporated.
This has been a presentation of OTRWesterns.com, and we hope you enjoyed. Please take some time to like and rate our shows in your favorite podcast application. Follow us on Facebook by going to OTRWesterns.com/Facebook. Subscribe to our YouTube channel by going to OTRWesterns.com/YouTube. And send us an email, podcast@OTRWesterns.com. You can call and leave us a voicemail, 707-986-8739. This episode is copyright under the Attribution Non-Commercial Share-alike copyright. For more information, go to OTRWesterns.com/copyright. Have a great day, and thanks for listening.